When done properly, the internet, screens, and particularly social media can provide 5 essential elements of adolescent well-being: a sense of control over one's environment, individuation, self-expression, a connection to others, and acceptance. And then there is the abyss. Welcome to App-Propriate, a podcast designed to give you a little taste into the positives and negatives of the most popular social media apps, so that you and your most importants can make more informed, healthy, and safer choices when it comes to interacting through your screens. I'm your host, Joe Langford. Note that I said safer, not safe. Interacting through screens with other humans contains a degree of natural risk, just like real life. And I believe that education leads to empowerment, and I hope this information helps add a degree of safety, social responsibility, and good digital citizenship to your social networking and the conversations you have about it with your family. Today's episode is about Blendr. Blendr falls into the dating/hookups app category. Blendr dropped in 2011 as a relatively straightforward online dating and hookup app, a location-based app where people can make friends, chat, and eventually meet for a date. One unique feature is that Blendr asks you for your Facebook credentials and permission to browse your friends list and Facebook contacts to see if there's anyone who's already known who's using Blendr too. The idea is that potential matches are likely to have common social interests and connections and uses Facebook in a way very similar to the way that some of us would pass paper notes to each other in 7th grade asking them if their friend would go out with us. Blendr, like most dating apps, takes that universal dynamic and tweaks it, giving users the ability to have several notes out at once and eliminating that endless time standstill period of waiting until the other person responds. Blendr is designed for adults to chat, flirt, and meet new people through mapping and GPS location services. In case you missed it, the operative red flag words in that sentence were adults, meet, and GPS location. Blendr imports all the information it needs for your profile from your Facebook account, so you don't really need to fill anything out. Though once signed up, users are encouraged/required to fill out questionnaires and share personal information in order for the application to optimize the matches that it serves up. Your profile and profile pictures are available to other users by default, and the information can be edited or changed anytime, and typically is, as Blendr also has an implemented rating system in which other users can rate your profile according to how pleasing your pictures are and the content of your profile. Matches are based on what personal information users include in their application and what qualities they're looking for. And the matches are comprised of Blendr's over 300 million members. It uses the typical dating app swipe function made famous by other apps with similar names like Grindr and Tinder, in which you swipe left or right according to the user's interest in a particular profile. You then swipe left if you don't think they're foxy, or right if you think they are foxy. If you swipe right on someone and they swipe right on you, then it's a match. Blendr also allows you to match with other people by setting location-based parameters. So in addition to or instead of swiping right, you can just scroll through people nearby and you can like their pictures, grade their profile content, or request their phone number and send them a message. Because of course they're sexting. Like most dating apps, users are able to share and post nude photos, which means Blendr is an adult platform. There's absolutely no reason for underagers to have this app on their phone. Blendr is rated 17 plus in app stores, is clearly designed for adults, but there's no age verification and it's gaining more and more popularity with teenagers. It's easy for kids to get around the age restriction as no age authentication is required. There is a form to fill out your birthday, though it conveniently reminds you underneath it that you have to be 18. That lax verification feature makes it possible for adults to pose as teens and vice versa. Blendr is a popular app equipped with an armada of potentially dangerous features that allow access to your teen's information and your teen. It increases the likelihood of them being invited or tempted to meet up in person with people that they don't know, and there are risks involved for kids in using it. Location sharing is obviously one of them. Blendr not only tracks each user's location via map, but it also tracks which users have crossed paths and when and where the paths were crossed. Blendr's mapping functions allow your kids and those interested in your kid to zoom in on each other's location and proximity. The ability to access a mapped location of another user is dangerous for some adults, let alone kids. Blendr is available in both desktop and tablet form, which means the GPS feature is not only tracking information while users are out and about in the world, but can cite the location of their home computer as well. As with any dating or hookup app, trolls, haters, and the people promoting themselves as something or someone that they are not is commonplace. Matches on Blendr are most typically determined by which users are in physical proximity to each other. This feature, along with the typical swipe right vibe, encourages / trains users to decide literally on face value if you want to meet up or not. Parents will find difficulty monitoring your child's use of the Blendr app unless you have their account information. Bottom line, Blendr is designed more for hookups than relationships, and say it with me, hookup apps are not for minors. The internet has helped humanity in a lot of ways, but it has also created roadblocks to developing proper social behaviors, and this can include why and how to meet people in person, as well as understanding the dangers involved with sharing too much personal information over the internet. Parents who provide their child with a smartphone or a tablet have the responsibility to be aware of how their children are using those devices. I encourage parents to ask their children about the apps that they use, and then set those same apps on their own devices so that they can get a feel for the types of things their children are going to be facing. And as always, and as with in-person relationships, parents need to know who their children are talking to, what they're talking about, and where their children are heading off to when they leave the house. Thank you for listening. I'm Joe Langford. I'm a therapist, a sex and tech educator, and a dad, and I specialize in helping families navigate that intersection of adolescence, sexuality, technology, and behavior. More information about me and my work to promote healthy, positive, and safer sexual and social behavior, both online and off, can be found at my website, beheroes.net.
The advice presented in this podcast is a form of education and is intended to provide general information about common though broad topics that impact underage people. Specific circumstances and facts may make said advice unsuitable and/or other actions necessary for individuals. This podcast is meant to be an adjunct, not a replacement, for IRL experience, professional advice, and good old-fashioned common sense. In addition, much of the information included here can and most likely will change with time, culture, and the rapid development of technology. BeHeroes.net does not seek nor accept any monetary gain or financial support from any social media platform mentioned. BeHeroes.net is committed to providing quality consulting, coaching, product, speaker, and contracted therapeutic services, advocacy, and resources to clients, visitors, customers, colleagues, and fans. Appropriate is produced by BeHeroes.net.